Well, as lawmakers face off over the nation's fiscal crisis, some are claiming the president's insistence on raising taxes on the wealthy is not actually about money or tackling our debt or deficit issues, but about embarrassing Republicans. White House Press Secretary Jay Carney says there's no deal yet because the GOP refuses to put forth a serious proposal. Listen.
I think you saw Secretary Geithner over the weekend on other Sunday shows very clearly express the president's position, talk about the proposals the president has put forward, and express our belief that there has been progress and that we can achieve a bipartisan agreement. Making vague promises about achieving revenue through capping deductions or closing loopholes simply doesn't add up to a serious proposal. We haven't heard which deductions they would cap or which loopholes they would close.
Guy Benson is a radio talk show host and a political editor for townhall.com. Guy, welcome back to the program. So,
hey, Megyn.
More and more we are hearing this from the GOP side that not only that this was not an opener by the president is their belief, but that the focus on not just raising taxes on the rich. It can't just be getting rid of loopholes, getting rid of deductions. The president is saying the rates have to go up on the rich is about humiliating Republicans. How so?
Well, I think there's a couple things here that you have to look at, Megyn. The first of which is the actual offer that the president put on the table, which was very, very heavy on tax increases, $1.6 trillion, with almost nothing specified or guaranteed on entitlements or the reduction of spending. The White House says, well, we need more details from Republicans about what they want to do on those fronts. And Republicans say, hey, we've put out these things called budgets the last 2 years, unlike you guys, by the way, at least in the Senate. So we've made it very clear what our entitlement priorities are when it comes to those changes. But Megyn, the president keeps saying we need more details from Republicans. This is constantly, he's putting the onus on them. How about sitting down at the negotiating table and having a serious discussion rather than doing what the president's done over the weekend, which is going back on the campaign trail? He was in Philadelphia again. It looked like a campaign rally, campaigning for higher taxes. Stephanie Cutter, one of the members of his campaign, sent out an email that really read like a campaign email saying we need your support from their grassroots to pressure lawmakers into action.
Well, some on your side of the aisle are positing that is what he's aiming for, because if he gets these Republicans to raise the taxes, then they're in a George H.W. Bush moment where they promised not to raise the taxes and they did. That can be used against them in the midterm elections. And if they don't, then he posits them as these obstructionists, want to protect the rich, won't deal with the economy seriously type lawmakers.
Right. So the question is the president really serious about avoiding the fiscal cliff? Remember, his own White House and the Congressional Budget Office both say that it could very well trigger a second recession. We know that pain in this country is already really bad on the economy. It would only broaden and deepen if we hit a double dip recession. So is the president serious about avoiding that cliff? And if not, why not? And I think some people are wondering.
I'm sorry, but do you think that it is a matter of principle for the president? You know, our own Chris Stirewalt, who writes Power Play for FoxNews.com, came out with a piece today that suggests it is an ideological commitment for this president to make the rich pay more and then give more money to people who don't earn as much through this stimulus that he's now proposing, through extended unemployment benefits, that for him is an ideological mission to take that money from the high-income people and to give it to people who don't have as much.
Yeah, well, I completely agree with Chris. He said that. He made that case on the campaign trail. That's what he wants to do. But the curious part to me here, Megyn, is you've had quite a few lawmakers on the Republican side of the aisle start to crack a little bit on some of their no-tax pledges. They're at least willing to come to the table and play ball. And rather than getting to that table and playing ball, the president's on the campaign trail and upping the stakes with totally ludicrous suggestions and plans like the one, if you can even call it that, the one that he put out last week, which is totally a non-starter and completely unpalatable. So rather than bringing the Republicans back in a moment of perhaps a little bit of their give and take or willingness to do so, he's ratcheting up the stakes, which doesn't seem to be the behavior of a leader who really wants to solve the problem right now.
Guy Benson, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Megyn.